Good evening, students. I'm extremely sorry for the delay. So let us start our discussion of Fourier transforms. We have the session of Fourier transforms. That day I have discussed, I think, all Fourier transform pairs and properties. These are all things we have discussed. Some exercise problems also I have discussed with you. And I have to discuss one important Fourier transform, that is, for an arbitrary periodic signal, what is the Fourier transform? Okay, signal is an arbitrary periodic signal. Then what is the Fourier transform? So just we discussed in the introduction of this chapter is Fourier series is applied for periodic, and Fourier transform we can apply for non-periodic and periodic both. Fourier series cannot be applied for non-periodic. That is what we have discussed. Here Fourier transform, when it is coming for periodic signal, so this is the topic of our discussion. So any periodic signal, we know that from exponential Fourier series, the signal x of t can be expressed as n value minus infinity plus infinity Cn e to the power of j 2 pi f t n into 2 pi f t. Just a moment. N into 2 pi f naught t or n omega naught t, where Cn is Fourier series coefficient given by the expression 1 by t integral minus t by 2 to plus t by 2 x of t multiplied by e to the power of minus j n omega naught t or n 2 pi f naught t. So we need to find the Fourier transform of x of t, which is an arbitrary periodic signal. So apply the Fourier transform here. For that, let us recall the Fourier transform pair. For one, I told you that the Fourier transform is del of f, impulse function, or for constant k, it is k into del of f, if it is x of f notation. Whereas one Fourier transform, 2 pi del of omega, or k Fourier transform, k into 2 pi del of omega. So if it is x of omega notation. So we have these Fourier transform pairs already we have seen in the previous session. So with the help of this, if we multiply any constant with exponential, then e to the power of j 2 pi f naught t. One side exponential multiplication resulting into shifting in other side to another. So that this is k del of f minus f naught, or k into e to the power of j omega naught, if we have. Then we have k into del of omega minus omega naught. Right. We have this Fourier transform pairs. So from this, if you observe, in this expansion, this is constant k, like this is exponential. So obviously the Fourier transform of this expression should be sum of n number of impulse functions. Now I want x of f for this x of t. Then I can use this first one. So that from the first one, we can write this one as n value minus infinity plus infinity, Cn, which is constant. And for this exponential, it is del of f minus, here n f naught is there. Observe 2 pi into n f naught we can take. So that n f naught. If you want x of omega for the same signal, we can take it as n value minus into plus infinity, Cn is a constant. From the second equation, this is k del of omega minus omega naught multiplied by 2 pi. I'm sorry, I have not written 2 pi. So 2 pi. So Cn 2 pi del of omega minus n omega naught. So this is what the Fourier transform of an arbitrary periodic signal, which is what happens here, sum of infinite number of impulse functions. Just I am plotting the waveform for this x of f and x of omega. So this is in terms of f, in terms of omega, I am plotting both graphs. So here when n value 0, obviously is del of f. First impulse function at origin, one function. Whereas when n value 1, so minus infinity to plus infinity, so plus or minus 1 will be there, so that 1 f naught, both sides will have impulse function. So here f naught, here minus f naught. Similarly, n value 2, 2 f naught, 3 f naught, so on up to infinity. So what we have is, this is a series of impulse functions from minus infinity to plus infinity, which is called impulse train. This is called a train of impulse signals, or an impulse train. It is represented with del function suffix t in terms of f analysis. Whereas in omega analysis, you can take this one as, observe the amplitude of first graph. This is Cn here. So this is all Cn. Since it is arbitrary signal, we have taken Cn. If the signal, periodic signal, what it is given exactly, then for that signal we can calculate Cn by using this formula. I have given Cn formula here itself. By using this formula, we can calculate Cn and we can substitute that. So for x of omega graph, same impulse train. In terms of omega, here amplitude 2 pi Cn. You can take like this, del suffix t in omega. Train of impulse signal in omega. So we got that Fourier transform of a periodic signal, arbitrary periodic signal, is an impulse train. So it is an impulse train both in f analysis and omega analysis. In case the signal, arbitrary signal x of t, I have given as impulse train in time domain, then what is the Fourier transform? So if x of t is impulse train in time domain, here in time domain impulse train. Let us take some ts minus ts. So the time period is TS for this signal. So that amplitude is 1. So this is the impulse train in time domain. Let us find the Fourier transform of this impulse train. Take x of f first. Then what is the value of Cn for this function? If you see, take this box formula. 1 by time period it is Ts integral minus Ts by 2 to plus Ts by 2. That means here within this interval only one impulse function is there. That is nothing but what? Del of t, which is at right, multiplied by e to the power of minus j n omega naught t you can take, or 2 pi f naught t you can take, not an issue. So this one will be 1. From the shifting property of the impulse function, we know that this is 1. Nothing but e to the power of 0. E to the power of 0 is 1. So that this is 1 by Ts is there outside of the integration. This remains. So 1 by Ts. What is this? Cn value is 1 by Ts. Now from this equation, x of f and x of omega, we can find this Fourier transform as, for impulse train, x of f is n value minus infinity to plus infinity. Cn value we got that 1 by Ts. So I'll write it as Fs. 1 by time period is frequency. So let us take it as Fs. It is Fs del of f minus n Fs. Frequency you have taken Fs now here. Similarly, x of omega, if you see what it is, n value minus infinity to plus infinity. Here 2 pi Cn is there. So that 2 pi Fs. So 2 pi Fs is omega s. Omega s del of omega minus n omega s. So what is the Fourier transform of an impulse train in time domain? Means again impulse train in frequency domain also. What is the difference? Means the time period will change. Your time period is Fs. Your time period is omega s. In frequency domain. In time domain also impulse train. In frequency domain also impulse train. Only difference is time period will change. And amplitude also you can observe in x of f it is Fs amplitude. In omega analysis it is omega s amplitude. That is a small change. Amplitude and the time period of the signal will change, that's it. But the nature of the signal will not change. Fourier transform of impulse train is again impulse train. But the time period and frequencies are different. Once time period different, obviously frequency also different. Right? Why I have discussed all these versions means I need to use this completely in sampling theorem. I will use in the next session mostly sampling theorem. I will give the spectral analysis both in F analysis and omega analysis separately. There a given arbitrary signal sampled by using the impulse train only. So to understand the spectral analysis of sampling theorem properly, we need to take clear analysis for this arbitrary periodic signal Fourier transform in terms of x of f and x of omega both. That's why I have given like this. I hope you got it. How to find Fourier transform in x of f analysis and omega analysis. So today it is 1 hour class. So that instead of doing the previous problems on Fourier transform, the Fourier transform related topic I want to discuss here. That is Hilbert transform. I will discuss that topic here in the available time. I'll discuss Hilbert transform. Just, I hope all of you written this one. I'm going to the next page. Fine. Just let us discuss one more important topic, especially for EC students also. They will get in communication systems Hilbert transform. Question is coming every year. Get question coming from Hilbert transform also. So let us see first Hilbert transform. Hilbert transform generally Fourier transform, Laplace transform, Z transform. We know Fourier transform converts signal from time domain to frequency domain. Laplace transform converts the signal from time domain to S domain. Z transform converts the signal from time domain to Z domain. We know that. But unlike these transforms, Hilbert transform does not change the domain of the signal. Here time domain, this side frequency domain. But in Hilbert transform, both sides signal is in time domain. It does not change the domain of the signal. What it will do means it introduces (90° phase shift for the applied input signal. Fine. So just let's have the Hilbert transform formula here. If Hilbert transform if you apply some input signal x of t, you'll get x cap of t is the symbol for Hilbert transform. It is given by input signal multiplied by convolution with a function 1 by pi t. Observe, input is here x of t, output is here x cap of t. So both are in time domain. Hilbert transform not changing the domain of the signal. But what is the expression for x cap of t means x of t convolution with 1 by pi t. 1 by pi t is a function, a time dependent function. So what is the Fourier transform of this function also we should be known. See here, for any system with the impulse response h of t, a given system, impulse response h of t, if you apply input x of t, okay, then output how we are getting means by taking x of t convolution with h of t. So here output is input convolution with impulse response. Observe this equation. Hilbert transform output x cap of t is output. X of t we know that input applied. Then this should be impulse response of the system. Then what is the Fourier transform of impulse response means we know that it is transfer function. Transfer function either h of f or h of omega. So now we need to find what is the transfer function of this Hilbert transform. First, I'll write the expansion for this formula. You know the convolution formula first, but let's have the expansion of x cap of t here. X cap of t. This is convolution formula. If you expand, integral minus infinity to plus infinity x of tau divided by pi into t minus tau d tau. Since convolution follows commutative law, you can also write this one as x of t minus tau divided by pi tau d tau. Both are giving same meaning. And just I will write here itself one formula. X of t is equal to minus integral minus into plus infinity x cap of tau divided by pi into t minus tau dt. Observe, this is not like an inverse Fourier transform, inverse Z transform formulas like that. Here x cap of t formula I have given and x of t formula I have given. Here minus is coming. Here it is, minus is coming. But what is this one? X cap of t means, x cap of t meaning is Hilbert transform of x of t. Actual meaning of x cap of t is Hilbert transform of x of t. And this expansion, it is for Hilbert transform. Now what is this one? Minus of, this integration is nothing but Hilbert transform of, what is the function taken? X cap of t. So x of t equal to, I am writing left hand side, observe, x of t is minus of Hilbert transform of, what is x cap of t means? We know that here this is Hilbert transform of x of t. Fine. So Hilbert transform of x of t is not x of t, it is minus x of t. So minus here. The Hilbert transform of x of t is minus x of t. This we can prove. Later we can prove with an example also. What is the basic purpose of Hilbert transform? We know that is introducing 90 degree phase shift, right? So this Hilbert transform here, if it is 90 degree phase shift, once again we are giving Hilbert transform 90 degree phase shift. Totally we are getting here 180 degrees phase shift. So x of t after giving to 180 degrees phase shift, we know that the signal will be inverted. That's why we'll get minus x of t. Fine. Now just I asked you to find the transfer function of this Hilbert transform, right? So for that, let's have the Fourier transform of 1 by pi t. I think I noted this. I'll go to the next page. Fine. So we have the Hilbert transform. X cap of t equal to x of t convolution with 1 by pi t. Right. So we know that x1 of t convolution with x2 of t. So Fourier transform is x1 of omega multiplied by x2 of omega, or x1 of f multiplied by x2 of f. Right. Convolution in time domain, multiplication in frequency domain. So here we need transfer function of the system. That means here 1 by pi t Fourier transform we need first. Let's focus on this transfer function first. Later we can have other discussion. So 1 by pi t, it is not a regular elementary signal to find Fourier transform directly by using Fourier transform pairs. So there should be some Fourier transform pair which gives this 1 by pi t in terms of in frequency domain. Then by applying duality property, we can get it. That's what we have to do. Whenever some unknown function is there, you try to remember the Fourier transform pairs. Somewhere, some function Fourier transform will resemble that unknown function. Then what you will do? From frequency domain, take that signal to time domain by applying duality property. You will get the right Fourier transform for that unknown function. But anyhow, here I will just directly tell you what is the signum function Fourier transform we get. 2 by j omega, right? Or x of f analysis if you want, 2 by j, 2 pi f, 2 gets cancelled, 1 by j pi f. This is the Fourier transform of signum function. Here what we need, 1 by pi t we need. I'll take this function first. 1 by j pi f. I'll bring this side by using duality property. What I will get? Duality property in frequency domain. In F analysis, I told you directly that will go to this side with reflection. If it is omega analysis, 2 pi multiplied. So anyhow, signum function is an odd function. We know that. If it is odd function, x of minus t is minus x of t. So you can take minus outside. And here in time domain, f should be replaced with t. Right. So we need 1 by pi t means you can take this j right side. So that it is j signum function of minus of means minus of signum function. Because it is an odd function, signum function. So 1 by pi t Fourier transform in F analysis we got minus j signum of f. So if this is the impulse response of the Hilbert transform, this should be the transfer function of the Hilbert transform. The transfer function. And if I take this one 2 by j omega x of omega analysis, I'll apply duality property here. 2 by jt, right? 2 by jt after duality property. Now signum function should go to that side with the 2 pi multiplication. 2 pi multiplication. Signum function should be reflected in terms of omega. Now by arranging the required format we need, of course, first I'll cancel 2 and I want 1 by pi t. So I'll bring pi left hand side and j right hand side. J signum of minus omega we are writing as minus j signum of omega. Compare these two boxes. Both are same function. Minus j signum of f or minus j signum of omega. That is the 1 by pi t Fourier transform. In terms of x of f analysis here. This is x of omega analysis. Now, what is the spectrum of this function, transfer function? If I take spectrum. Spectrum generally, the frequency spectrum or spectrum of frequency spectrum is combinedly the amplitude spectrum and phase spectrum we are taking as frequency spectrum of a given signal. In the next class, I will discuss this spectrum for our basic elementary signal Fourier transform phase. In the last session, I could not complete this frequency spectrum discussion, I remember. But in the next class, I'll take some Fourier transform pairs and I'll plot some frequency spectrums for different elementary signals. For what we have already derived the Fourier transform pairs. But right now, I'll just directly give the idea. Here, amplitude spectrum is if it is x of omega, frequency domain function, assume that this is a complex function. We can write it as x real part of omega and x imaginary part of omega like this. Right. Here, the magnitude of this complex function, we know that is square root of real part square and imaginary part square. Function of omega. Okay, all right. Whereas phase of this complex function is tan inverse x imaginary part of omega, x real part of omega. It is just tan inverse, not minus tan inverse. Again, I'm recalling to all students. Somebody will recall minus tan inverse here. For phase spectrum, it is tan inverse imaginary part of the function divided by real part of the function. Right. Now let us plot the spectrum for the transfer function of the Hilbert transform. Observe the Hilbert transform. Transfer function, what we got means minus j signum function. That's it. Let us plot both spectrums for this. I'm going to the next page. I think all of you noted this. Let us plot the spectra for transfer function of the Hilbert transform. Fine. Here, x of f minus j signum of f, and x of omega minus j signum of omega. I can take any one, not a problem. Same argument for both analysis. Since I have given x of omega, let us take x of omega. So first, amplitude spectrum I want to plot. What is the magnitude of this x of omega? Here, real part 0, right? Only imaginary part is there. So square root of imaginary part is minus signum of omega whole square. Signum function, if you observe, right side +1, left side -1. Whether it may be omega or t, whatever. Signum function is this one. Signum square means it is multiplied with other signum function. What happens here? Left side -1 amplitude. So minus into minus plus. After multiplying these two signals, -1, +1 left hand side. Right hand side, both are +1. 1 into 1, 1. So what we are getting is simply DC signal, right? With the amplitude 1. What is this? Signum function square. If signum function square is 1. Already minus is there. Minus square also 1. Square root of 1 is 1. Finally, what we are getting here? Amplitude of this one, or magnitude of this function x of omega is 1. So the plot will be simply a DC function. X of omega versus omega. This is called amplitude or magnitude spectrum. It is 1. Now, phase of this transfer function. What is the phase? Formula is tan inverse imaginary part divided by real part. What is the imaginary part here? Minus signum of omega divided by real part is 0. Don't take immediately infinity or minus infinity. Right. Here, signum function, not a single value. So that signum function also we have here. Signum of omega, it will be +1 right hand side, -1 left hand side. Now phase, I want to take left hand side. That means when omega less than 0, then what about the signum function of omega? Observe the diagram, -1, right? Then what about the phase of this function? Tan inverse minus of signum function, it is -1 divided by 0. Now what it becomes? Tan inverse plus infinity, right? What is tan inverse plus infinity? It is pi/2. In the same way, if I take right hand side, positive frequency components, then signum function from the diagram right hand side, it is +1, and phase of this function x of omega, it is tan inverse minus of +1 divided by 0. That is, we get tan inverse of minus infinity. That is minus pi/2. If you plot phase spectrum, what it gives on omega axis? Phase of this function I'm taking. Left hand side, it is plus pi/2. So it is plus pi/2 left hand side. Right hand side, it is frequency components minus pi/2. Pi/2 minus pi/2. Observe the phase spectrum of this Hilbert transform. In the beginning, I told you it introduces 90-degree phase shift. But I'm telling you here, Hilbert transform is called a wideband 90 degrees phase shifter. Because why it is called like that means it is not always plus pi by 2 or 90 degrees phase shift. Observe left hand side, that means for negative frequencies it is plus pi by 2. Whereas for positive frequencies it is minus pi by 2 phase shift. Hilbert transform introduces plus pi by 2 phase shift for the negative frequency components of the signal and minus pi by 2 phase shift for the positive frequency components of the signal. That is why it is called wideband 90 degrees phase shift. Right. So we can observe this one clearly from the given diagram. Right. Now, you just later you can try for x of f. Try to plot spectrum in terms of x of f. Nobody should confuse with x of f and x of omega analysis after my Fourier transform discussion. None of my students should confuse. Everywhere, wherever it is needed, I am giving you clearly x of f, x of omega, both combined. Okay, fine. Now, just I'll give some characteristics or properties of this Hilbert transform. I'm going to the next page. I think all of you noted. Fine. See here, first thing, the Hilbert transform introduces 90 degrees phase shift already. First property is that Hilbert transform introduces 90 degrees phase shift. Simply we say 90 degrees phase shift like this, but clear description you should know just what I have discussed. 90 degrees phase shift means immediately try to remember for negative frequency components plus 90, for positive frequency components minus 90. Fine. Second, both x of t and its Hilbert transform have same autocorrelation function. Right, ACF, autocorrelation function. This is autocorrelation function. Similarly, both x of t and x cap of t have same power spectral density function. Communications as a subject will have very important concept of autocorrelation function and power spectral densities, the spectral analysis of systems. So these two forms of Fourier transform pair actually. ACF Fourier transform is power spectral density. That's why once autocorrelation function same, obviously power spectral density also same for both functions. And both x of t and x cap of t are mutually orthogonal signals. Mutually orthogonal signals. And already I told you, Hilbert transform of x of t is minus of x of t. Hilbert transform of x of t. If x of t Hilbert transform x cap of t, then x cap of t Hilbert transform is minus x of t. Right. That is what the conclusion. And Hilbert transform does not change the domain of the signal, already told you. Hilbert transform does not change the domain of the signal and we can say Hilbert transform does not change the amplitude characteristics of the signal. Not change the amplitude characteristics of the signal because it is changing only phase shift, 90 degrees phase shift. Amplitude does not change. Why means just the amplitude spectrum we can observe here. The amplitude spectrum, it is Hilbert transform a DC function. A DC function is amplitude constant. That is why amplitude characteristics of this signal should not change. Only phase shift is altered by 90 degrees by Hilbert transform. These are different characteristics you can say. Now just I will show you the Hilbert transform. Just one example signal, cos omega naught and sin omega naught. Just before that, let's take the applications of this Hilbert transform. Just going to the next page. Just applications of Hilbert transform is what say. First one, to realize the phase selectivity in SSB generation. Realize the phase selectivity in SSB generation. SSB means you know that single sideband. SSB modulation signal, amplitude modulation, a different variation you can say. Second, it provides the mathematical basis for the representation of the band pass signals. Actually, it provides the mathematical basis for the representation of band pass signals. Signals we can take as base band signals and band pass signals. Base band signal means the spectrum is around the origin and bounded at some low frequencies like this. Whereas band pass signal means like this. Spectrum is centered at some high frequency. And simply you can say baseband signals can pass through low pass filter. That's why a low pass filter characteristic you can remember. Band pass signals, so it is a band pass filter can allow this. And one more thing, message or information bearing signals are baseband signals and the modulated signals are band pass signals. Here SSB is a modulated signal. But anyway, these are all in communication systems. We have a lot of discussion there. So the third point is phase characteristics. Phase characteristics and gain can be related in communication channels and filters. Right? Relate gain and phase characteristics of some linear communication channel and filters. This Hilbert transform can be used. This is just for applications point of view. We can observe this. I think all of you noted. Let us see some Hilbert transform of cos omega naught first function. I'm going to the next page. Hilbert transform of example signal find Hilbert transform of cos omega naught t. So here x of t is cos omega naught t. X of t is cos omega naught t. Just a moment. If no change in domain, why it is considered as transform? I have not seen your message. Just now I am seeing your message. Drisha. Drisha, after discussion, you got it. Why it is transform? What it is transforming, you have to observe. Phase shifting. That means phase it is transforming. Okay. Signal transform is not the domain. Transform, what is the meaning of transform? Conversion from one thing to other thing. Which thing to which thing it is converting, that's what we got the discussion. Now, amplitude characteristics of the signal not altering. Phase characteristics are altering. It is introducing some phase shift. It is transforming from one point to other point in terms of phase characteristics. We can say transform. What's wrong in it? Basic transform meaning, okay. Suppose we have already in mind that frequency domain is fixed. Fourier transform x of f, x of omega, Laplace transform x of s, and z transform x of z, like that. So we feel that the time domain should be changed like that. Because those three are shifting from time domain to other domain. But transform does not give that meaning. To change the domain, just from one quantity, from one physical quantity, from one point to other point. If it is converting, that also can be taken as transform. The basic dictionary meaning does not disturbed here. Okay. So I hope you got it. Thank you. Drisha. Feel free to ask any doubts. So x of t is equal to cos omega naught t. If we take, let us find Hilbert transform of cos omega naught t. Here, what is Hilbert transform formula? Just I'll recall you. X of t is x of t convolution 1 by pi t, and 1 by pi t Fourier transform. We know that minus j signum of omega. If we take x of omega analysis, here x of t, what it is? Cos omega naught t. Now, what is the Hilbert transform? They asked. Right. So instead of directly evaluating in time domain, because convolution operation is there, we can go to the frequency domain and come back to the time domain by applying the inverse Fourier transform. So I will next take the Fourier transform, this one, as some x cap of omega, because I know the Fourier transform of cos omega naught t. Right. And already 1 by pi t Fourier transform is minus j signum of omega. What is cos omega naught t Fourier transform? We got it in the last session. Pi del of omega minus omega naught plus del of omega plus omega naught. We have this Fourier transform pair in terms of omega analysis pi. If it is f analysis, 1 by 2. You know that. Amplitude. Okay. Now, in convolution in time domain becomes multiplication in frequency domain. You know. So x cap of omega frequency domain, the Hilbert transform, it is pi into del of omega minus omega naught plus del of omega plus omega naught. It is multiplied with function, what it is? Minus j signum of omega. So minus I'll write this side, and j I'll write here. Signum of omega is there. Right. Signum of omega function. Let's recall this. Okay. Let us just manipulate this one. Minus pi j del of omega minus omega naught multiplied by sigma of omega plus del of omega plus omega naught multiplied by sigma of omega. Here, del of omega minus omega naught multiplied by sigma function. Any function x of t, if it is multiplied with del of t minus t naught, what is the answer? Sampling property of the impulse function, basic properties of impulse function, 6 properties I have given them. So there I have told you x of t naught multiplied by del of t minus t naught. Is what it is. Del of t minus t naught will be there itself. X of t function will not be there. X of t function value at this location t naught. What is that amplitude? That will be become the amplitude of this impulse function. So according to that, here del of omega minus omega naught is there. Where it is right side. Here, where some omega naught. At this impulse function is multiplied. Here what is the amplitude? Here 1. 1 multiplied by that function. This is right hand side, so plus 1. No issue. Minus pi j del of omega minus omega naught. This is plus 1 amplitude there. Next, we have del of omega plus omega naught, this second term. Omega plus omega naught, where it is left shifting, so at minus omega naught. So this function amplitude should be multiplied with which one? This corresponding amplitude minus 1. So this should be multiplied with minus 1. I'll write minus this side. Right. This function left hand side sigma function minus 1. So amplitude should become minus 1. So already 1 minus is outside. So let us take that one. Pi. This is in the required format, I think. Sin omega naught t, Fourier transform, if you recall, that is pi by j del of omega minus omega naught minus of del of omega plus omega naught. We have discussed in the previous session. So here, if you multiply and divide with j square is minus 1. Minus 1 plus. So pi by j del of omega minus omega naught minus del of omega plus omega naught is what? Fourier transform of Hilbert transform of the function. Then, if you apply inverse Fourier transform both sides, then what you get? X cap of t is equal to this function. Fourier transform is sin omega naught. So what we got? For a Hilbert transform, cos omega naught t, Hilbert transform is sin omega naught t. Now let us apply the Hilbert transform on sin omega naught t. What should we get? What we get if we apply Hilbert transform of sin omega naught? We try it all of it. Let us do it, prove it like this. Then we can apply the logic. First try to solve according to the procedure like this, and then we can give the conclusion according to the logic. I think all of you noted this one. I'll do that. Hilbert transform of sin omega naught also here. So I'll go to the next page. So find Hilbert transform of sin omega naught t. So same procedure. Here x cap of t is x of t convolution with 1 by pi t. Here x of t is sin omega naught t. If you apply Fourier transform, both sides, x cap of omega, what you will get? Sin omega naught t Fourier transform we know. Pi by j del of omega minus omega naught minus del of omega plus omega naught. This is multiplied with minus j sigma of omega. Your convolution becomes multiplication. So let us take this step clearly here. pi by j del of omega minus omega naught. Here minus j is there. So let us take minus j here. Signum function I am multiplying inside. Signum function of omega minus second term del of omega plus omega naught also multiplied with the same signum function. So here jj gets cancelled of course. So minus pi, same argument, signum function of omega, take it. Right hand side plus 1, left hand side minus 1. So del of omega minus omega naught, this is a right side function. So right side function means signum function is plus 1. Omega plus omega naught means left side function. Left side function means signum function multiplied with minus 1. Just property of the impulse function, just what we had discussed in the previous problem. So that here plus 1 multiplied here for first function minus for the second function it is minus 1 multiplied. So minus minus plus del of omega plus omega. What is cos omega naught Fourier transform we have taken? Pi into del of omega plus omega naught plus del of omega minus omega naught. This is Fourier transform of cos omega naught, right? So that minus of here, if you apply inverse Fourier transform on both sides, x cap of t should be equal to this x cap of t is equal to, after applying inverse Fourier transform on both sides, get minus of this pi del of omega minus omega naught plus del of omega plus omega naught is cos omega naught t function. So what we get? Sin omega naught t Hilbert transform. It is cos omega naught t. And if you recall, cos omega naught t Hilbert transform, what we get is sin omega. This sin omega naught, after applying to once again Hilbert transform, what we get? Minus cos omega naught. Here I minus sign. So tell you Hilbert transform 90 degrees phase shift. Again 90 degrees phase shift. Cos function after 90 plus 90, 180 degrees phase shift. Cos omega naught t after 180 degrees phase shift should become minus cos. General logic. Or Hilbert transform of x of t is minus x of t. That is logic. So we can verify that logic here. Right. Now I think you can solve Hilbert transform problems if it is anything other than sin and cos. If it is any function is given to you, you can proceed like this. If there is a known functions, you don't get any problem. Here 1 by pi t is there. That's why I have taken like this. Right. By pi t is there. So based on the given function, go to the frequency domain, manipulate it, come back to time domain by taking inverse Fourier transform. You get it easily. It's not a big problem for us. And most of the examination problems, they are not troubling you to find Hilbert transform of difficult functions. I'm sure. They are giving Fourier transform of very complex functions. But Hilbert transform, they are not troubling by giving unknown functions. If they are giving some complex functions, it seems like that only. But definitely there will be some simple logic to solve it in simplified manner. Provided if you can recall all the properties of Fourier transform and Fourier transform pairs, if you remember all my points what I have given here, definitely some logic will be there to simplify that complex expression. No doubt in it. Right? So Fourier transform, I'm telling you, it looks like a difficult topic, but not difficult, provided all points are covered without any mistakes. That's why I told you I have worked a lot on Fourier transforms. I have given all the required information here for you to solve any problem related to Fourier transforms. And I'll prove you in the next session by taking all previous problems. I'll show you how to solve the Fourier transform previous problems in the next session. Today it is only 1 hour class. It is time 9:30. I'm closing this. I'm thanking all of you. Good night to all of you. Let's meet in the next class. After completion of Fourier transform, I will start sampling theorem in the next class. Sampling theorem more important than Fourier transform in examination point of view. I will discuss that one immediately. Good night to all of you.